Good morning, everybody. How are you doing? This is Rob of Rule of Two Review, and what a wonderful surprise we all woke up to today, because Bayonetta 3 finally has a release date. It has a sweet new trailer, and it's coming out this October. I cannot stress to you guys how excited I am about this, because Bayonetta 3, I just know, is going to be a fantastic game. I think this has a chance at potentially being my game of the year, or at least competing very heavily with Elden Ring and with God of War Ragnarok as possibly my personal favorite game of the year, because I love these freaking games, and I still think Bayonetta 2 is a 10 out of 10. So what really happened here is a couple of days ago, it was confirmed that there was officially an ESRB rating for Bayonetta 3, which had everyone talking about the fact that maybe the game is getting close to getting confirmed with a release date and hopefully some kind of updates, because as we know, we've been waiting for over a year on any new information, a new trailer, and to actually get confirmation if the game would even still release in 2022. Several people, which does include me, have been worrying that maybe the game was going to slip into next year. I really had that worry once the Nintendo Direct Partner Showcase happened a couple of weeks ago, and the game wasn't featured there. Even though it's published by Nintendo, it's still technically a third-party IP and a third-party game. And so I thought that if it was going to release this year, it would have showed up in that partner showcase, and of course it didn't. And so, was the game going to slip to next year? And once the ESRB rating happened, everyone got excited like it was going to happen. There then was some leaks that actually happened yesterday. A couple of Twitter accounts, most notably Silux Hunter, this Twitter account that popped up over the past several months that has been, seeming like he or she has some inside info and is leaking some pretty accurate stuff. Obviously, with the Waddle Dee thing, everyone's kind of suspicious about this whole thing. But, to this person's credit, or this account's credit, they did predict this date, and yesterday even said that we would probably see an update today. And whether or not that person is truly an insider or not, that's not the point of the conversation. The point is, we did get all of this info today. So where to start with all this? I think obviously the release date is probably the biggest thing. I mean, October 28th, which is so great. As I've pointed out a few times recently, Bayonetta 2 in North America also released in October. So I had kind of been eyeing October as an ideal release month if the game was going to stick to this year. I also had December in my back pocket, because I felt like December could make a lot of sense for a release of this magnitude, because Nintendo has used December for both Xenoblade and Smash Brothers in the past and been very successful with that. And typically December is a forgotten month by big companies, so I kind of thought that maybe Nintendo was going to pull a fast one on us and dump Bayonetta 3 in December and still have a very successful game, but it turns out that October is the time. Now, my biggest takeaway with October is not only the fact that it's only a couple of months away, which is crazy exciting, but it's also now a week after Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope releases. And, I'm trying to figure out how I feel about this now, because Mario plus Rabbids is a game I am excited for, but I'm not losing my mind over. I really enjoyed the first one, and I still own it. And so I've been looking forward to also playing the second one, but it's not like a game or a series that I'm crawling over myself to just get my hands on right away. And of course, Ubisoft with the recently checkered past, I'm still kind of morally fighting with myself on what to do there as well. And so now it's like, I know Mario plus Rabbids is going to be a great game, but with Bayonetta coming out the week after, and with that game becoming my immediate priority, I'm almost considering putting Mario plus Rabbids into kind of my backlog and maybe waiting to pick it up until sometime, later, maybe early in 2023, or maybe it becomes a random December pickup. I'm going to be going through Bayonetta 3 and then God of War within a couple of weeks of each other. And then once I'm done with those two games, I technically will have a bit of a dry spell in terms of current new games to play. So maybe at that time I decide to go back and play Mario plus Rabbids. I'm not sure. I'm going to kind of cross that bridge when I get there. The only thing I know of is that October is obviously packed for Switch games, with Mario plus Rabbids and Bayonetta 3 now being the biggest and most high profile. I know there's a few other games that folks are excited for, nothing that I'm currently paying attention to. Nier Automata is a fantastic game, but I already have played it and I own it, so I don't need the Switch port. So it's really Mario plus Rabbids and Bayonetta 3. And so, I mean, Nintendo is really making their back half really, really strong, and I love to see it. I cannot wait for this game. It's worth noting that they also confirmed a special edition for Bayonetta 3, which I did not expect. I do believe it's worldwide, or at the very least UK, and I think also North America. I sure hope it's coming to North America. It's called the Trinity Masquerade Edition, and I mean, I'm so glad that this exists. Normally, I wouldn't care about special edition for a game like this, but honestly, I just want to support it so strongly that I might actually fight to get this one. I'm kind of over special editions nowadays. Obviously, I needed to get the Metroid Dread one. I've passed on the Xenoblade Chronicles 3 one, but with Bayonetta 3, it's like, I don't know, I kind of feel it for this one, you guys, so I might try to actually get this one, and, you know, I'll buy a separate physical copy to open and play for myself, get the special edition to collect it. They also confirmed that Bayonetta 1 is getting a physical re-release on the Switch on, I believe, September 30th for only $30. Currently, it also was included as a download code with Bayonetta 2 on the Switch, which was very cool. But as we all know, it's now really expensive and hard to actually get that with the download code. And yeah, you could buy it digitally, but now if you want the physical edition, they're going to re-release Bayonetta 1 on the Switch for a discounted price. I think this is fantastic. I still own Bayonetta 1 and 2 on my Wii U, but I think I've decided with all of this news and my excitement for Bayonetta 3, I think this might be the first Wii U games that I actually double dip on the Switch, and I think I'm going to buy Bayonetta 1 and Bayonetta 2 physically on the Switch, along with Bayonetta 3 itself. Let's actually talk about the game and the trailer itself for a little bit. Nintendo, of course, announced this not as part of a Nintendo Direct or anything. They just tweeted this out. They added the trailer to YouTube and said, here's the release date reveal, and Bob's your uncle, here we go. So here is what they tweeted out this morning. Bayonetta engages in a bewitching battle against the homunculi. A feisty new witch named Viola enters the scene, and is that another Bayonetta? And so when you watch the trailer, you kind of realize what all of this means. We do see returning characters, of course. We see Rodon, we see Luca, which is all very cool. I believe we see Jean. Is that one character not Jean? But I'm trying to remember. I don't remember the story as much as I love these games. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I don't pay attention to the story. I just love the gameplay. But am I remembering that Jean died? I thought she died, or maybe she came back to life. I don't know. Either way, it is still great to see these returning characters. And then, of course, we do see Viola, or Viola, who is this new character that we're going to get to play as, and we see some gameplay of her in this game, in this trailer, and it's very exciting. I mean, there's a chance it becomes an Arbiter situation, and I think the Arbiter sections held back Halo 2 big time. I think I'm alone in that feeling, but I didn't really love playing as the Arbiter in Halo 2, but I just think that they're going to do a much better job in Bayonetta 3, and the Bayonetta games have already had a larger ensemble cast anyway, even though we only ever play as Bayonetta. So I feel like this is going to work out in our favor, being able to play as Bayonetta, and probably some specific sections as this character Viola. Very curious and excited to see how she's included in the story and what she actually means to the story. It just adds more gameplay and variety. There's probably going to be special Viola modes and things we can unlock after we beat it. I mean, you know, all the kind of typical stuff. It's very, very exciting. Now, they also mentioned the other Bayonetta character, and I noticed this before I even read it on their Twitter, that Bayonetta seems to run into some other character that I initially thought was an enemy, but actually sounds like she might actually be an ally or a friend, and it very much looks like Bayonetta, only with a completely different look and outfit and something going on with her face. I don't know, but very, very cool. Curious to see what's going on there. Is that maybe another character we might get the option to play as? Or is this just another character that plays a pivotal part in the story? Also, I mean, we just have to talk about all of the gameplay that we see and the visuals and the optimization and everything about this game. We're seeing tons of crazy over-the-top action set pieces, which is what the Bayonetta series is known for and what Platinum's game development and gameplay is known for. And we're controlling other creatures, we're controlling big giants, we're controlling, like, crabs, and there's this whole train fight sequencing that's going on. I mean, this game is going to be absolutely bananas in the best way. If you're familiar with the Bayonetta series, you kind of know what to expect, and they're obviously dialing it up to 11 with this game. And I think it looks beautiful, man. I love the design for Bayonetta in this game. I love the visuals. I mean, this is just what these games look like. Some people are talking like the graphics aren't that impressive, and I mean, I just don't see that. I love everything about the art style and the visuals and everything they're doing. It just looks like a beautiful, fantastic, super fun game. And again, the gameplay for Bayonetta to me in the kind of action space of gaming is just it's unbeatable. It's top of the class. I mean, yeah, Devil May Cry is really great. I enjoy that series as well. But I just don't think it even holds a candle to Bayonetta. I don't think any series has ever topped Bayonetta's gameplay in terms of just action beat 'em up. And there's no doubt in my mind, Bayonetta 3 is probably going to be the best of them all. And considering I told you guys at the beginning here that I personally think Bayonetta 2 is still like a 10 out of 10 game, that's really saying a lot, at least in terms of my expectations. Granted, any game could let us down at any time, and maybe this game does that. But I just have no reason to think that this game is going to let me down on that front. It just looks absolutely masterful. Now, one last thing I want to touch on that's kind of cheeky and funny and everyone's really paying attention to is something that Platinum Games confirmed, which is called Naive Angel Mode, which is kind of quelling some of the concerns that a lot of the, I don't know, the more silly people out there have been concerned, like, oh, Bayonetta's not sexy enough anymore, you know, after she was revealed in last year's trailer. You know, because, you know, hey, Bayonetta's a sexy character. The games have always kind of played with that. There's a lot of skin being shown. And it's just kind of uses the sexuality aspect of Bayonetta as a character, you know, as part of the gameplay and as part of the character, which I think is totally fine and harmless. And sometimes it's just, it is what it is. And that can be a part of a game and a character. And that's what it is. And I have no problems with it personally. And so when this game was revealed last year with that first trailer, some folks complained, like just a bunch of freaking weirdo goofballs. I'm just going to be honest. It's weirdo activity, guys, to complain about that stuff. But people were complaining about it, that they weren't seeing enough skin and they weren't seeing enough booty and cleavage and all this stuff. And so whatever. And so now they confirmed with this Naive Angel mode, and you can see some visuals of it kind of playing here, that you are going to be able to toggle on how much of the sexuality and nudity you want to have available in the game, which I think is kind of funny and honestly even kind of cool. I'm going to have Naive Angel mode off, man. I want the full Monty. I say bring it on, man. Show me the goods. Platinum Games even added this tweet, kind of, I think, poking fun of it. They said this: "Relax, the witch is back and sexier than ever. We've added the revolutionary Naive Angel mode to Bayonetta 3 so more people can fully enjoy it. By turning it on, you can play right in the living room without having to worry about what's on screen, we think." And so basically, I think when they say relax in the beginning here, they're basically saying, hey, to all of you weirdos complaining about how much boobs and butts you can see from last year, we've added a mode so you can kind of control it, right? So you can turn it on if you want to see less skin. You can turn it off if you want to see more skin and play the pure Bayonetta experience, because the first two games just featured this stuff front and center in a way that I think is not gratuitous and over the top. I think it's just kind of being fun and sexy in kind of a fun way. And so they're giving you control over that now, and I think it's fine. I think it's cool. It's great. I'm keeping it off. I want my typical standard Bayonetta. I say bring it on. And so that's where we are with this game, man. What a huge drop this morning. No Nintendo Direct needed. Just put a trailer out, put a tweet out, give us the date. It's coming in October. It's just a couple of months away. Very, very exciting. This, like I said at the beginning, I mean, this is going to be a Game of the Year contender for me. I just know it. Between Elden Ring and God of War and Bayonetta 3, this is actually going to be one of probably the strongest years of the past few years. Just for me and my tastes. You know, you might feel differently based on your gaming tastes, and that's fine. But for my gaming tastes, these three games are just right up my alley. And I cannot freaking wait to play this game. October 28th, right around the corner. And let's go, man. It's Bayonetta time. I just am so excited. So what do you think about this news, the trailer, the Naive Angel mode, all of that fun stuff? Talk about your feelings below. And with that, this video is a wrap. Thanks, of course, as always, for tuning in, guys. This is Rob of Rule of Two Review, and I will catch you next time on another video. Bye-bye.